so smart.
Suggested topics, and you have some dots inside your packet, and what I do is start filling in those and start voting on which one you want to participate.
I could be so much more efficient if I didn't have to stand in the line, because I could do this on my own phone, or I could go do it through web browser. That's the idea.
Perfect. So is that basically the message that you will do the class today, or impact?
Definitely.
We're going to be closing the polls. Going on right now that come together that make us have an opportunity to make a difference and make some change and create what I always wanted to do, a revolution. So I think this is kind of the start of it, and I'm hoping that we can start that spark and sustain that spark over the years and really see some change happen.
And I think if there's one way that we could be able to change things in the city, it's to be able to improve how people get their information from the city. And so
that's a good point. And that's one of the things that we're trying to do, is make it very simple. So here's one of our thoughts. We typically may get a request from the media and say we want data X. And then we work with that media entity, and then we give that media entity the data. My thought is now, if media X comes in and asks for data, and we say, yes, we're going to make that available, instead of giving it just to that media requester, we're going to put it public. And everybody can look at it. And I don't care whether you're with the newspapers or the TV stations, or if you're John Q. Public, we're just saying, yes, Civil Beat, because you're here, Civil Beat said, we want this data. Civil Beat said, we said, yes, you're going to have this data. You can pick it up on the Canyon site, along with everybody else at the same time. That kind of stuff. So there's not this exclusivity that goes out. So it's a real change in how we think and how we do things.
Great.
You can get the documentation, it's excellent documentation, and from that, some other people besides Google, many people use this. This has become a de facto standard for static information for transit. We refresh this server that uses this every 2 minutes. Now we're going to cut that down to every 30 seconds, so the latency goes even lower. But that's where we're at right now. So when you hit this and I say real time, it's probably 3 minutes old or 2 minutes old.
And people are lazy because right away they just click on the contact us and they email me, and I'm like, that question's on the web, and I know you were on the web because you clicked contact us.
You will need a really robust knowledge base.
So it picks up on like the keywords, right, of the question?
Yeah, like tags or something. I mean, if depending on what system you use, it'll pull stuff out of it, and then it will anticipate the question you're asking. So like looking for where do I pay my parking?
But then like we were just talking about all the different ways that maybe we can modify what we already have, and then drill down to a point where we can take care of some of these things, but still have the method that we have to based upon obligations by the federal and the state departments. So
is there, Forrest mentioned during the panel that there's like 26 or 7 different services and departments,
agencies, yes.
Would there be like a master list of all the services that do exist then? That's funny, and then you could just identify and this one bottlenecks the most. Now let's address that online. Like so limit or Just, yeah, definitely.
Also, the city could provide incentives to allow them to participate more. One would be, you know, they go to the website, they download some piece of paper that they take to an item that says, I've listed this item in this system, and that printout that they attach to that item allows them to put it out there whenever. Right, by participating, they are not bound by some window. Right, they're just allowed to put it out at their convenience. It's because they participated in the system.
So, great. So I want to give a hand to all the people that were part of this initial set of session. And I want to also welcome Mayor Carlisle to come up and say a few words.
I don't know anything about technology, but I know it works, and I know we've got great people doing it. I want to thank you for coming here and taking us to the next level. You have lots of ideas. You have areas of expertise. I know nothing about them, and so you are dealing with a very easy person to be adequately impressed and to follow your recommendations. So I don't believe in micromanaging. I don't believe in power and control. I believe to listening to people who know what they speak about.
It's really interesting. I think that's California there. Let's see, California. Oh, I see California.
And look at some of the projects that we've done, and that's a way for you to own it, get it into Honolulu, and really be active. When our fellows show up here in 2012, they will definitely need you, and so they'll be reaching out to you, the developers, the residents, the community group members, because you'll be a critical part to our success here. So we'll be leveraging you.
If we do a city camp, this is something that we could get out of it or something similar. So having that connection point and having something real for people to attach to, I think was more important. But I think to answer your question is, you don't have to have a full prototype. I think you just need a concept and something that you can prove that it's going to work.
Tourists would be more apt to using it, you know, because you know where to go.
As long as they're safe.
As long as they're safe.
And the tourists know that they're safe and feel that they're safe, and yeah, they'll definitely use it. Yeah, exactly.
The question then is, how do you engage between all these different people attacking the same kind of issue? But once you have the spending, the question as we were posed here was, what do we want to see how the money's being spent. We want to be able to comment on it. We want to be able to kind of have some, you know, hold people accountable. We want to be able to, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so to me, that's really where we got to kind of look at the question, you know, how do we solve that together? But it all starts with data. You don't want people to editorialize data. You know, you want people to give the data and then just list it for what it is and then work with it. So.
Using the database, using the data, you can get trends on what times you actually have a better chance of getting parking spaces, as opposed to a certain time of the day, at lunchtime, maybe the parking spaces go down, either with no parking spaces during lunchtime.
When you talk about government data, you have, one, it's very complex, and two, it's very large. I mean, there are huge data sets that are extremely complex in the way that they're put together. And so just building an app and saying, hey, just put this out on the web, you have to understand what the data is.
The justification, right? Kind of whether it's going to be we build our own, or use existing apps, or you know, point to whatever we have, right? So who's in charge of that?
Well, the other way around is you check the box first and then establish.
Yeah. Okay. Draft like more than one, yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Actually, another thing this has that might be handy is it has comments. And if we offered that someone could say it's been picked up, right? Yeah.
I mean, the image is the important part, right? What it
Yeah.
looks like. And then secondary is like, oh, where it is.
Yeah, so you just use that same kind of thing, scroll across.
It looks exactly like it
Needs
does
to
on
be
my
bigger
desktop.
so everyone can use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Unfortunately. Are you
prototyping it for us?
Trying to. This is horrible.
We have the largest free municipal Wi-Fi, one of the largest in the state, or I should say in the country, and it's got zero taxpayer dollar funding. So, and we want to keep it going that way. So we've got great ideas on who we should get involved in it, like the Chambers of Commerce, Waikiki Improvement Association, neighborhood boards, Rotary. Someone said Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, never thought of those, to see if we can get those people involved in doing this and coming up ways to get the word out. So it's really kind of a cool kind of thing.
We can scrape that information, integrate that into the app, and kind of have one spot for Hawaii to have a place to do some trash spotting. Let's see. We have another view here. Okay, so this view is the geolocation view. So after they send their information and there's an input, on the output side, we have a picture, geolocation, where it is, how to get there.
Right now, if you go to honolulu.gov and you try to, let's say you type in, for example, bicycle registration, you get like results with everything that says like bicycle registration inside of it. So, and we also, in our little, when we had the breakouts, we spoke about pretty much focusing on mobile, because a lot of people have mobile devices, phones and whatnot. So we actually designed the mobile kind of platform first, and then we're going to adjust it for the, I guess, for the regular computers, the regular web browsers. So,
you know, we talk about all these different apps that we can create, but it's not really about the app. It's not really about the open data. But we use that because it's easy for people to understand, right? So Honolulu 311, which we're going to be releasing, which will let you take a picture of a pothole or a street light, that's easy for someone to conceptualize, but really it's people taking a more active role in their community. And that's kind of the my inspiration for wanting to do this. And I think when you do it in this format, especially a mobile format, it helps to address the digital divide between rich and poor, and I think it also can help address the age divide. We couldn't do this without people showing up and wanting to be a part of this. So thank you so much for being here. We will this is not the end. We're going to continue this dialogue. So thank you so much. And go UH.